Right, okay. Let's click that, click that. Right. Woot! It should hopefully be streaming. There should be something there. I keep looking at the main monitor's not working. Oh my goody aunt, this has been a thing. Right, so hello, yes, welcome to the stream. It's late. As you can tell, it's not near. Because I got myself a brand new graphics tablet and I was like, ooh, I'll test this out. It'll only take a few minutes to set up. I started setting this up at 10 to 7. As you can tell, that's worked well. Yeah. So, yeah, I wanted to test this out and give it a go and see how things went. I think my blood pressure's gone up several points, just getting it all set. But, oh well. We're going to test it. We're going to see how it works. It was going to be a short stream today anyway, because later on I'll be joining Karen Russmore in his stream. I'll do a bit more about that in a moment. I just wanted to basically apologise that it's not near at the current moment, even though the schedule says it is. So apologies for that. Although if this doesn't work, I might jump into that for a bit, just as a bit of relaxation more than anything else. I can see I've had a recent follower, so I'm just going to click that button so that pops up. Woohoo! Thank you, Near2023, for following. I do hope you weren't here to watch it today, though. I'm so sorry if you are. Yes, this was a treat to myself that I got. So I got a Wacom One tablet, which has a display on it. And I was like, ooh, this could be useful for my art, because previously, all my art drawing on the computer was a tablet on my laps and looking at the screen. This one, it actually is a display that I can draw on. So when I, move the cursor around, I'm literally looking at the tablet and doing it there. And I was thinking this would be brilliant. And I thought my computer would be able to handle this no problem. I then found out that my computer's only got one HDMI port, so my main monitor's off because that's HDMI and so's the tablet. It then wanted to update drivers, so I updated drivers, and then Windows was like, hey, we've got an update that we're going to force to do now because the restart on the drivers didn't give me the option to say don't do the Windows update. And then I lost control of the other screen completely as I was trying to set up OBS, then OBS crashed. And now I'm just like, I've had enough. I've had enough already. But anyway, I'm going to try and draw this. I wanted something to draw. I wanted something to be able to sketch and test this out with. So what I have here is an image based on the Akagi Squared series of comics. Basically the most recent one. Enterprise has Grimm, sort of like on her arm, and Grimm's got this usual goofy face, and she just looks at Grimm and goes, Grimm, war face, and Grimm just puts this serious war face on, so I wanted to make a movie poster based on that, if you will. I was going to colour it in black and white, or grayscale, as per the comics, but then I thought I might try colouring it on the computer, so that's what I wanted to do here. So what you can see on the screen is my line art drawing, and you have to excuse me whilst I get used to buttons, and I can actually stare at the screen and do this. So yeah, this is my scanned version of the line art, so I can colour this one in and grayscale the actual original. So you've got Akagi at the back, obviously Grimm, they're all serious. Shipzilla is supposed to be Akagi. Then you've got Enterprise, Yorktown, and then Akagi-chan in her disguise, because I figured that'd be a hilarious thing for Grimm, to be still there. So that's what I'm going to try and do. We'll see how it works. If it's very laggy because of the stream or whatnot, then yeah, I'm just going to jump onto the technical difficulty screen, boot up Replicant, and we're just going to play that for a bit. I will be ending the stream slightly earlier than normal, because, as I said earlier, my friend Karen Russmore, he's not doing his usual Hitman stream, because there's no elusive target this week. He's actually going to be playing Resident Evil 4. Now, to most people, the Resident Evil series isn't exactly scary, it's more of a laugh in the park, but he's not that good with games with slight scariness, let alone anything else. So I'm basically going to be the peanut gallery. I'll be joining him on his stream, just providing moral support and mocking him at the same time. So that'll be later on, but I'm going to be ending this stream early. Yeah, no. To be honest, I don't think any of the Resident Evils are scary, but again, it's different strokes for different folks. I don't find them scary, but you know, some people might do. For a common example, spiders. I know people who have no issues with spiders. I know people who are petrified of them to the point that they think dead spiders are going to come back as zombie spiders, and I found out that that's not a joke. That's what they actually think. But you know, it's a wide spectrum. Wide spectrum. Tongue. We shall say that one again. Wide spectrum. Get the R in there. It does help. Otherwise, you're saying something completely different. It's a wide spectrum of you know, thoughts and fears and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, he just doesn't do well with games that are even slightly scary. I mean, I used to play Thief, the original Thief game on any of the levels that were slightly scary. But yeah, they recommended him to start on 4 because it's more actiony than anything else. But just to make sure, yeah, I know 6 was the one that I recommended because that was one of the first ones that I played on the PC recently, if you will. And I say recently, but it was like years ago. But you know, I played that one because it was just an action mess, and I enjoyed it because it was just daft. It wasn't Resident Evil at all. But you know, to me that was, you know, fun to play. But I have played the others. I mean, I played the original Resident Evil. You know, I wanted to make a Jill sandwich. Probably not in the way that they were envisioning, but you know, hey, that's just me. So yeah, again, I keep trying to come back to this. So what it is I'm planning to go help him out. We're going to try and sort out Discord and stuff like that. So I'll be ending the stream probably about 8:45, give or take. So the advantage to doing art today is that it's also something I can say, right, I can leave it here. I don't have to worry if I'm like halfway through a quest or anything like that. I can just say, right, I'm going to stop here. Got to kick off, sort that out. I do anticipate having normal service resumed by next week. I have got someone who is going to supply me with a cable that will allow me to use both monitor and this display tablet next week, but that's going to be on a Friday evening, I get that. So next week's art streams are going to be traditional art, if I'm not melting. Hopefully the weather's going to be a bit more reliable next week. Anyway, that's enough waffle for me, because you guys have been staring at the same bit of screen. And I'm looking up at the second monitor with OBS to see what I'm doing. I'm like, I can stare at this. The whole reason I got this tablet was that I can stare at it and do something here, so I've got to get used to this. Right, so here we go. Let's try this baby out. How big is this pen stroke? Oh, it's fairly fine. Ooh, that's what that button used to be set for. I just found out what I had that button set for. So yeah, new mouse. It's only got the one click button, which is a bit annoying. Might need to see if I can track down another one and get 2 click buttons, because my old one I used to have rotate on one and undo on the other. But oops, fudge. Oh, Gordon Bennett. Gotta get used to this. But already it's so much easier to do this. Should be low 20s next week. Awesome. Do let us know if it starts getting laggy or awkward on the stream. So far, it's behaving what I'm seeing here. You know, what I'm drawing appears to be drawing. And it doesn't appear to be affected or anything like that. This reminds me, did I link you the quick and dirty browser-based VTuber thingy? Yes, you did. Yes, because I was saying it could be useful to like test the waters with things and stuff like that. Right, what did I set this button? Oh, I set it to that. Oh. That's a really weird mouse button. Whoa, careful. So yes, for my drawing, I can't remember if it actually shows on there. I'm using Open Canvas. Are there any of you come across that? I know there's more recent ones out there that a lot of people use. Oops, that was an awful line. I couldn't get rid of a lot. Where's my glove? I'm sticking to this already. It's cooler today, but yes, I'm still kind of melting. so I just need something to stop me sticking to the tablet. But already I am loving this. Technical difficulties aside at the start. Ooh, I'm still going to get used to drawing on a screen. The only thing that I'm missing from the old tablet is the old tablet used to have buttons on the side that I could click and do things with. This doesn't. But I can have the keyboard sat next to me. Oh god, that was awful. Do that. And apparently I can use other pens. Whee, that's awful. So I can use, according to what they say, you know, other the tablet pens and stuff with this. So I'm hoping, and I'll try it out later, that the previous pen I was using will work. In fact, hang on, is it on my desk? Yeah, it's on my desk. 1 second. Does it register? No, it doesn't. Ah, curses. I thought that was a Wacom one as well. That's a shame. I was hoping that one would work, but it doesn't. Oh well. Back to this. But how is everyone today anyway? As it being Friday, how are people doing? Are you finally at the weekend, or do you unfortunately have work tomorrow? Oh, so I'm thinking on it. Nier, have you played Replicant at all? Ooh, fudge. I also think that takes me up to... Ooh, 42. Awesome. I'm slowly getting there. I'm good. Didn't actually set fire or melt today. Was chill enough to need me sleeping. Ah, yes. Glad to hear that. The weather was slightly more agreeable, I think, all over, to be honest. Yeah, today it was overcast here. It's still a bit... Oh, sorry if you got fan buzzing in there. Yeah, I have got the white snow. Ooh, nice. Oh, that's good. Ooh, oh, yeah, can't go. Nothing new there. Ah. Oh, fudge. One thing I like about digital art is you can just draw... Nope, line's wrong. Erase. Draw. Line's wrong. Erase. Doesn't quite work when you're trying to do it traditionally. Which is like this week's just been a bit backwards. It's like I was planning on doing more Replicant today. So the tablet showed up and I was like, I've got to try it out. And as I said, initial setup aside, and it's going fairly well. I'll have to see about getting some Replicant fan art done at some point as well. I'm just happy at the moment that there's so far no characters just in Duty and Fantasy. No worries, no problem at all. I keep thinking I need to get back into 14. It's one of those I'd probably do better if I had more people, or knew more people. I just probably have to jump in on Saber's thing, but I think the server was full, which I think is the reason why I couldn't get in there in the first place. God, that was awful drawing. Let's try that again, Madcan. Interesting is I could technically zoom in more, but I'm sat here with my head as close to this bloody tablet as I can to draw. And it's like, I know they say you can treat it like paper, but I'm sure I could zoom in and, you know, not treat it like paper. Look, woo, zoomage. But it's weird. I'm technically still drawing on a tablet. I'm drawing a digital picture on the screen. It's just because it's on the screen I'm looking at, it's so much easier. Whereas before I'd have the tablet just casually sat on my lap and I'd stare upwards at the screen. And for years that's all I used to do. And I used to be alright, I won't say good at it, but I was alright. You know, the things have changed a bit for me because of November, but still trying to sort stuff out and get back to some form of normality. I can see I'm probably going to want to adjust the pen settings on this as well. I'm pressing fairly hard, but that's just sensitivity stuff. I don't think I ever managed to get this comfortable in drawing. I think it's just because I can see what I'm doing, and because I'm so used to doing it on paper, my brain is like, yep, that's how you draw. And it just all clicks. Sort of full, sort of one. Oh, for check. Yeah, I'll try and keep an eye on it. Honestly, it could be a kind of fun thing to maybe stream at some point. Oh, wait, no. I don't want that, I want... Let's get me in close on this eye. Yeah, this is a dream almost, really. It's just so much easier to draw like this. So yeah, if any of you are ever contemplating digital art, or you're a digital artist anyway, and you're using the old style of tablets and stuff like that, I highly recommend getting one with a display. I only got this Wacom one because it was on sale. You know, and I'm a cheapskate, so I'm like, hey, you don't have that much to spend. But I've used Wacom products for years, so I know the brand, and that was the other reason why I went with it, even though there's, I think it's like Huon, I think is the other brand that you can get out now, that some people are using. It's all practice in here, all practice. And it's probably something you'll hear artists say, oh yeah, it's just practice. True, I started out drawing, I used to draw in primary school, and it's one of the things I wish I'd kept some of the old primary school books with some of my old drawings in there, because it would be kind of fun to look back on that. But one of the best things I've ever heard said is, like, everyone has like 50,000 crap drawings in them before you get to the good stuff. You've just got to get through 50,000 crap drawings. And again, it's perhaps cliche, I guess, but it's one of these things where there's no harm in picking up a pen and drawing, and then well, give it a go. The main thing to remember with drawing is you're not trying to beat other artists, you're not trying to emulate other artists, you're just trying to improve upon yourself. There's no harm in taking a look at what other artists do and not tracing as such, but using them as an example. So you could sit there with it on the screen and sort of go, how did they draw that? And then you attempt to try and draw something similar. So you can always... one of the books that I got for anatomy basically gets you to practice looking at classical art, and it basically gets you to break the classical art down so you learn the basic shapes of things. Hang on, let me just zoom out a second. I'm useless at explaining things with words. So, like to create Enterprise here to start off with, if I switch to, I've got to switch to my red. Hang on, double click. Whoop. So, if I wanted to draw, the usual start with a circle kind of thing comes in. But I will draw. Hang on, that's a really crappy picture of Enterprise. Let's just start new, and I'll just create something. So, if I wanted to draw a character, let's say someone reclining. So we've got the head, the spine, one leg, the other leg, arms. That arm resting there, that arm there, but resting across there. Basic image. And then I would work from this to then build up on there. So I'd say, okay, so you'd have your shoulders there, you'd have the upper part of the body here, rib cage, stomach, hips, pelvis area, and then legs. Arms, hand, and then you'd have there that arm going down behind the body, so put the hand on the body there, neck, and then adjust the head so that it matches the neck a bit more. You can then draw your dividing lines for where you want. Let's try and get it to. Ooh, I've got lots broken. Let's do that. So I draw a lot of anime style stuff, so the basics that I have here is, let's just zoom in on this. That line will be for eyebrows. That line will be the bottom of the nose. And then here you'd have the mouth. Oops, very long there. Let's do that. Your eyes, you want to go from the middle of the eye down to there. That'll be effectively your mouth is normally that. So if you look at yourself and you drop a line, draw a line up from the corners of your mouth, it will go up to the middle of your eye. If you're looking dead ahead. The edges of your nose, so the curve that's there, will generally line up with the eye there. There is like a rule for the distance between the three, but some people have, well, different lengths of those. Some people get the mouth closer to the nose and so on. Oh, good evening, Admiral. How are you doing? So you can muck around with that. But it gives you a rough guide of where you want, especially if you're drawing a real person. I mean, anime tends to be different because obviously they have like huge eyes, tiny nose, tiny mouth, you know, and it comes nowhere near the middle. But you can mix and match to get your own style and stuff like that. Let's just delete all that. So if then what I'll do is after I've got the basic shape, I would then say, right, okay, I want to flesh this out a bit more. I'd have a new layer for it. And you can start saying, right, that's definitely where the neck is. The head's going to be there. The ear, oh, that's the other thing I was going to mention. Well, ears. Again, wonderful thing about humans. I'm just going to pop my headset off so I can just trace it on myself. Bottom of the ear, you draw a line straight across. Bottom of the nose. Top of the ear, draw a line straight across. Eyebrows. So you can always make sure that your ears are the right size to fit within there. Again, Variations do happen. Some people have like really big lobes that go a bit lower and all sorts of stuff, or they have those weird the weird ear things, you know, where they got the massive hole and you just want to add a padlock. And go. But that's just me. I'm cruel. But yeah, facial creation. It's fun. So, another thing that I do is the face normally comes out. You'd have the cheek, and then normally put a recurve in. Basically, it's an opposite curve to what's going out there, and then forehead. The greatest thing that you can learn to do is learn how to project 3D shapes onto a 2D surface. So if you can imagine a sphere, so you get a circle, and then you can do that, and then do that, and you're making it a sphere. If you can imagine how to do that, then placing bits on there so that it all lines up, you'll have no problem. If you can't, it's just practice. You will get used to it, but it is one of those things where you might start drawing people faces on because it's easier. But once you do that, maybe do a character that's doing a 45-degree look, so they're looking out to one side. It's still head straight, but they're looking out to a different side, and you can then work from there. And then you can progress to the side-on view. You then might say, right, I want to have them so that they're looking 45, but then they're looking down. So you have the actual cross point instead of being like that. You say, okay, then they're looking more this way, and then that line there would need to change for it. So you'd say, right, so how are they going to do that? Well, that line's going to go there, and now they're looking 45 degrees, but it's looking down. Again, if you can do any sketching on digital, it's brilliant for learning because you can just mess up. There's no harm in getting a piece of art that you can find online and then saying, right, I'm going to take that photograph or I'm going to take that picture and I'm going to sketch, put a new layer over it and sketch on top of it and figure out how did they come to that. I'm just thinking if I had anything I could quickly chuck in as an example, and I don't think I do. 1 second, I'll try not to eat the pen. I'm usually very good at that. Let me find... Okay. I'll do this because it's kind of hilarious. So, I'll grab a photograph of me, I'll throw it in here, and we shall now try and draw this photograph, anime style. Okay, so if I was to break this down anime style, I'd say, right, okay, you've got top of the heads there, sketch around, chin's there, so I'd want to there go for the anime manly look because, you know, hey, I look manly, don't I? Honking great big nose in the middle. Oop, it's not exactly centre of the eyes there, Mad Cat. Eyes, eyebrows, mouth. And as you can see, this is a perfect likeness. But from this, you could sort of say, right, okay, if I wanted to... Now this is going to be interesting because I don't normally draw men. So let's... actually, I had a big cheesy grin, didn't I? Hang on, 1 sec. So, bring that up. That is cheesy grin. There, right, okay. So we'll anime style it, make it bigger, more cartoony. Make it up to date. I shall add the chin fluff. Big anime eyes. When I say big, I mean they could go bigger. And then eyebrows are like up here, so hey. And then as I am now, shaved head. So, and then I'm like, oh, but I haven't included ears, so I could go ears. Let's clean up some of this. Ooh, that needs to be a bigger brush. Go back to that and that. Oh, no. And then we shall go onto this one. Give me a new layer. Flip that over. Give me. Let's flip that up. Just want you. Oh, you've gone back to 8. That's fine. Give me that again. So yeah, if I link them two together and then move them over, let's just give me. Actually, give me that. Filter that. So, as you can see, perfect likeness. Just, you know, now I need to, do they actually have what I need on here? Hang on. Yeah, that's what I'm after. So, render, no. I don't think they've got what I need. Oh, they don't. They don't have what I need, so I'm going to just add it in. Give me that color. Yeah, bright yellow, that'll do. Pen. And then what we need to do is give me a nice big brush. And then. Oop, also needs to be on a layer that you can actually see it on. So add the big sheen off the head. And then, you know. Lens flare. There we go. So that's a more modern version of it. Big googly eyes. Yeah. But yeah, you can do things like that. Take a photograph, sketch it up, and try and draw it anime style, or whichever style that you want to draw. I shouldn't really say anime. It's just the way I draw is anime style. It was just like a really rough and ready example because I didn't have any better pictures to show you. So unfortunately, it was that picture of me doing that. But it's something that you could do if you wanted to improve upon or practice drawing. And then you learn things like muscle groups. Because I used to draw, or I used to draw essentially the muscle group like that. And then I realised that it doesn't necessarily follow. You have the muscle in the middle, yes, but it doesn't go right to the elbow. My favourite tip for drawing forearms here is their shape is best described as like a bowling pin. And that's a really awful bowling pin. Let's try drawing a bowling. I can't draw bowling pins. Yeah, that's close enough. So yeah, you got like a bowling pin. So you've got the tip of the bowling pin here, and then it widens out, and then it actually narrows back in towards the elbow. Depending on the person that you're doing, because I have very elbowy elbows. Pointed elbows is the word I was trying to go for before I had a stroke. You know, you might want to change how the elbow looks. A lot of my characters have elbows like mine because I get stuck. I look at my own elbows, and that's a lot of how I draw is I look at myself. Hands. Oh yeah, these are fun. So for hands, I always start off with essentially the palm, the flattest part of, and then I will try and figure out where the fingers are going to be with a block. I'll break the block down so you've got the index trigger finger, and then figure out where the thumb's going to go. Hands, so basic palm shape is usually, this is your wrist. It flares out slightly, and then you've got your fingers, and they will go in a pattern like that, and then obviously you got your thumb on the side. So these two fingers are pretty much the same length. Can vary slightly, but people, that's obviously your longest finger, that's your shortest one, and then your thumb is this weird little appendage which can do all sorts of funky things, which is a sod at times. And especially if you're like me and you've got a slightly double jointed thumb, just be careful when you're drawing people that they don't bend the thumb too far back, because then people go, that's not right, and you're like, well, it is for me. Yes, most normal people's thumbs don't bend back at the top. But yeah, if you can draw like the basic layout, you can then say, right, just basic lines will do for now, and then you say, right, where are the joints? Well, the joints are pretty much the same length back along, so you doing that, and then the main part that where the joints aren't that far back is actually at the knuckle. And then when it comes to drawing or improving upon the fingers, I always try and, that's like a basic finger for me, so that would be obviously right next to the hand. That's the next joint, and then that would be the final one where you're going to have your nail and everything on there. I'm still learning fingers and hands, so this is how I am currently drawing them, just so that I can get an idea of what's going on with it. It's not perfect, it's not great, but I'm still learning. I haven't actually paid attention to chat 1 second. Oh, no, wait, I'm going to need the mouse to go to the other screen. Mouse, other screen, go. There we go, I can see it. Hang on, I need to scroll up. I've obviously missed a lot. So love to draw my Final Fantasy LC. Yeah, you know, I'm all for drawing. You know, if you ever need, just let us know. Just ask Saber, I draw his LC often enough. Symmetrical Anatomy. Yep, for the most part, anatomy is symmetrical. If you want to spice things up, you can change that. And oh, thank you. I wouldn't say such skill. It's just, again, I've been doing this for years, quite a few. Mustache and beard is awfully good. Ah, thank you. It's the only part of hair I've kept on my face. Well, eyebrows as well, but yeah, the top has gone. Cyclops and X-Men, yes, yes. Behold my power. I don't own a million airsoft guns, Saber. It's only 1,000. And yes, anime style is the best. But there's no harm in trying to mix up anime with realistic drawing. I've tried to do it a couple of times. Varying success. Varying success. What was I going to do? Never do hands or feet. Yeah, hands and feet are the pain. Feet is something that I'm still, again, struggling with. So for feet, start with a nice triangle. So you'd have your ankle. And then I always think of it, you've got the heel, and then you've got your toe joint, if you will, about there. You've got the arch, that's also the word I was looking for. It curves back, curve around the heel. That'll join up. You've got the bony protrusion on the side. I'm very good at the anatomy words, as you can tell. And then you can sort of look at toes as being fingers, but someone once told me to draw them like fingers. Don't draw toes like fingers unless you really want to look weird. And that, it's not perfect, but it's a smooth join down to there. Toes are, the way I draw them is essentially that. Then I'll trim off the top. A bit too hard on that nail. I'll trim off the top there for the nail. Put a bit of a joint in there, and then it's straight into the foot. There's no joints or anything like I had over here. It's just straight in. Again, it's something I'm still learning. Some of the books I've seen, they teach you how to draw feet that have been in shoes for far too long because they have the toes, so like top-down views, they have the toes like curving in really hard. I look at mine and like my big toes out there, and then and then I've got the tiny little toe over here, and it's this little. Why do we have tiny little toes there? It's like a pea hanging on the end of your foot. Big toe, I understand. You lose your big toe, you're not going to do much. And yeah, I know it's technically the same bones and bone structure, but you know, you can say it's the same bones, but you put a hand next to a foot, they don't look the same. It's just the skeleton structure underneath is where the magic happens. But yeah, that's the other thing is there's no harm in drawing based on yourself as well. I mean, I do a lot of my sketching at work on my lunch break because it's usually the only time I get to draw. And people have to stop it on tables. Oh goddamn yes! Yeah, that's it. It's the table indicator, isn't it? It's like your shin. The only reason it exists is to find coffee tables at night when you haven't turned the lights on. This is to find, you know, the corners of tables, table legs, odd wooden protrusions, inconveniently placed Lego bricks, although that's more for here. What was I going about? Oh yeah, I was talking about sketching at work. Memory issues. So yeah, I've had people stare at me as I've been in work, and I'll crouch down into a pose, and I'll be looking around and sketching. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm trying to create a pose for a character. Some people have these figures you can get, and you can pose the figure and look at it that way. I just crouch down and have a look at myself. It's not perfect. The only thing I would say is try and, if you're sketching a character and you're not quite sure which way the hands go, try and think about your own hands. Because the amount of times I've seen people draw fantastic pieces of art and then they put the wrong hand on the wrong arm, and it just ruins it. And you're just like, that's a left hand on a right arm. The thumb's pointing the wrong way, and stuff like that. It's like, oh no. It's usually the case that the thumb is misplaced. Oh, hello, Penana. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, this was me drawing something else, and then it just randomly turned into a how to draw thing. But hey, it's kind of fun trying to explain how I draw. You know, sexy pose. This could be me. If it's going to be me, it needs more of a shine. So yeah, when you're sketching, just try and think how the thumb would pose. Ideally, when the hand is down, so you've got the body facing forward here. Oh, that was going to be the head. The hand comes down at natural rest. The palm is inwards, and then the thumb is forward. And then you can obviously rotate that so the thumb pokes outwards, or do a complete 180 and your thumb's pointing backwards. It is always worth, if you are sketching anything, to take a moment to stand in that pose if you can, and just look at the hand and think, which way is my thumb pointing relative to the body? And then you can say, actually, my thumb's pointing out, so I need to make sure on the picture the thumb is pointing out from the body. Palm is up, palm is down. Just getting an idea where the palm and the thumb are will stop you doing the wrong hand. Even if you've done everything else right, as I said, the wrong hand or the wrong feet. Feet are even easier because they don't have the same flexibility as a hand. Big toe is always on the inside of the leg. You know, I've seen people draw, again, fantastic bits where they've had like poses like this, and then they'll draw the feet going this way, so they've got the big toe there. And it's like, you've got the toe on the wrong side. And it's just a quick, okay, big toe there, other feet there it goes, yeah, whoop, that's better. You might not get the full view of all the toes, but then you don't want words. You wouldn't necessarily get that view anyway. Even though you might be looking down at yourself thinking, well, I can see all 5 toes. Because you're not necessarily going to be able to twist your neck in the same position for the picture, but you could sort of use a bit of imagination and say, right, well, the view's coming from such an angle that I'd see the big toe and maybe a little bit of toes beyond that, but not definition of. Oh, at least it's informative. I'm happy with that. I'll take my ramblings being informative. That's always good. And as I said, if it gets people to pick up a pen and draw, awesome. All for it. Knees are another big one. Because I used to, when I did legs, I'd draw like this, and it literally would be, the knee would just curve around, whereas I'm trying now to put more of a flat in there, and what I've been using as a rough guide, Wolverhampton, well, you know, I was going to say, you know, unless you're from Burnley, but you never know. I'm from Accrington, so I get to say that. I know what people from Accrington are like. But yeah, doing a lot of model kits like Gundam or frame arms and stuff like that. And a lot of the knee joints are like this. So I do try and do something similar for the knee to allow for this flatter bit to come in. So I still have a circle on the original sketch idea, but then I'll flatten it out just to give it a bit more of a... Because if you sort of look at your own knee, it's not exactly a round circle. In fact, a lot of knees are very knobbly. That's a really awful knee there, but you know, I'm not sure if that's knobbly or cancerous. If you had a knee like that, I'd see a doctor. But yeah, it's something where it's worth just putting that little line in to flatten it out a bit, so that it just doesn't flow like that as a knee, unless that's the style of what you're going for. I mean, you know, you could be someone who wants to do like have some simplistic arts where that is what they've done, but the rest of the art, it's all very simplistic, so it fits. Again, I shouldn't really tell you how to draw based on how I draw, but it's a way of drawing. You can take what you want from this and then apply it to your own way, apply it to other ways that you find online, mix and match, and then you'll create your own style. And you may not necessarily stick with that style, you might move on from it. Do I have... I just remembered actually, I did save a load of my original art. Did I save it on my computer or is it just online? Because a while back I discovered a load of my art from 2000. So I had a story idea I was drawing, and I did loads and loads of pictures. I was really happy. I thought they were all brilliant. And yeah, I looked back at them and I went, my God, they're awful. I haven't got them on there. Let me load up. I'm just going to quickly grab them offline. Because I want to show you essentially an early picture so that you can sort of see how I started, and then you could go, okay, yeah, I can see how you've moved on from there, and it gives you an idea to look at and go, not everyone starts great. Instagerm, where are you? They are. Somewhere on here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's absolutely hideous. Can I view that? Oh, no, it's Instagerm. It won't let me... Hang on. Let me just try it this way. Go to here, Control New. This is where it's going to do something funky. Right, okay. Let me just trim out the unnecessary crap. Image crop. Right, so, here. Yes, this is one of my pictures from 2000. This is how I used to draw people. I used to think this was good. I mean, look at that face. I mean, I think horses have a shorter nose. Tubes. Arms and legs are just tubes. Tubes. Fingers are sausages. But their bodies are just long tubes. It's awful. It really is. But this is how I used to draw. And I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm great at drawing. And yeah, that's what I used to do. But again, it gives you an idea of, yeah, this is legit me from yonks ago. I actually did have one where I actually took one of the old images and I went, right, I'm going to redraw that. He says, and then he can't find it. Oh, wait, no, I don't think it was. Was it uploaded? Oh, no, I didn't want to like my own image. I guess I didn't stick it on here. That's a bit of a bummer. No, stop. Oh, actually, I have the original image of Loyu. Right, so those that know me know I draw my OC Loyu quite a bit. I can't actually remember. Yeah, I've got the little chibi over down there. Let's just grab one of the art images I've done recently over, because I should have the one I put on a t-shirt. Yes, there it is. Right, so, I'll bring that up last. Let me see if I can paste again. Oh, wait, nope. I want to do that. No, I want to move the layer. Can you move layer, please? No, that's not moving layer. That's... oh, crap. No, don't want to save. Give me a new image. We'll try this one again. Paste. Right. So, here is Loyu, the original version of her. So yeah, this was my original cat girl. And as you can sort of see there, again, it's tubes, boob armor. Why? Why did I think boob armor was a good idea as a kid? Pro tip, boob armor is not good. If you sort of think about it, if the person's going to get shot, you've created a shot trap in the center of the chest, and also if they have to go down or lie down on the front, they're basically putting pressure on their sternum. Or, yeah, as Benel just said, yeah, one hit to the sternum, dead. You know, I used to think boob armor was good until I grew up. But yeah, this was an image I did yonks ago. I decided to improve upon it. I've done it a couple of times. Oh, that's the actual Loyu through the years. Let's load that one up. So yeah, here you go. I then improved it in 2007, where I put a bit more curvature in. Still had boob armor because I was stupid. And then 2018, I decided, right, ditching the boob armor, creating more of a modular-esque kind of armor. I'd improve this again, even still. I'm not happy with it, but I'd still improve that. But I changed the pose up a little bit. I adjusted parts that I wasn't happy with. And overall, I kind of like it. I look at it now and I'm like, I can improve upon that. You know, and that's, I was going to say 2 years old, but I keep forgetting 2020 actually happened. I've got to remind myself of that one. To me, 2020 was a no year. It never actually happened, so my brain just keeps thinking it's like 2020. It's not. But yeah, I look at the most recent one, I'm like, I could improve upon that. You know, the armor is not up to a standard that I like. I think the arm is too short. The head is too big. The legs, I could probably get them more defined, so that they actually look, I don't know, like she's actually wearing the clothes rather than just being draped off her. But it's, again, a progress thing from this to bringing her a bit more shape, making her look a bit more feminine, and then to realizing boob armor is stupid. But yeah, it's one of these things is, I always try and get people who say, oh, I can't draw. Just draw. Just sketch something. Go for it, and you will improve. It is one of these things that if you just don't draw, then of course you can't draw. But if you draw, okay, the first one might look, you know, like this. But you'll look at it and think, I'm happy with that. And then you'll move on, and a few years later, or even months later, you might look at it and think, I can see what's wrong with that. And then you'll draw it again. Or you'll draw something different. And then you'll carry on, and you will improve upon yourself. I'm half expecting to have a new one here. I might actually do it at the end of the year and redo this and see how I do, you know. Art in a real finished. Yes, absolutely. And yeah, we are our worst critiques. You know, we always look at it and go, "Oh God, I could do so much better on that." But in a way, it does help. Like you can sort of look at it and see things that you don't like. And another, sorry, random thought whilst I remember this. Another tip that I was given when I first started drawing was when you've done your drawing, especially if you're doing it on paper, and you think, "I'm happy with that," hold it next to a mirror and look in the mirror, and errors will show because you're looking at the same image but from a different angle. Now, obviously, on a computer, you can sort of just say, right, okay, then let's flip it, look at it, and go, yeah, I can see that. Oh, that does, yeah. You know, you could do the same thing there, but if you're doing it on paper, yeah, stick it next to a mirror and have a look at it, or put it aside, look at it in 2 days, then you'll come back to it and go, yeah, no, I don't like that, and it'll give you that wonderful. It gives your brain a chance to be happy with the endorphins that you've released from the art. Gives that a chance to dissipate, and then you come back to it and look at it and go, I can improve that, and then it starts all over again. Art is a wonderful little bit of therapy, even if sometimes you just like, I had enough of this, and this drawing's not turning out right. You know, it can help. And yeah, an egotistical artist will look at the work and say this is perfect, but then the artist side of him will come back to it in a couple of days and go, no, it isn't. Yeah, and exactly the same thing with the writing. Give it a few days for the brain to reset. Christ, I remember when I was writing Assassin Blade, which was the story I was writing where I did all the tube people for, with the horse faces. I used to love writing that, and I've never gone back to it ever since I lost the copy. Rather stupidly, I was getting my computer upgraded, and they were like, "Oh, we'll do a complete fresh reinstall of Windows. Have you got everything off you need?" I went, "Yep." Hadn't saved that, and it was like 200. I think it was 246 pages I got up to. Yeah, I was kind of at the end of that. I was like, I can't start again. But it was also interesting. I was starting to rewrite it as I was writing it, so I'd go back to the start of it and touch up the pages a bit, because when I started writing it in secondary school, it was very much Sasha left the building. She walked down the street. She noticed something strange. And then later on, I was writing like how Sasha had opened up the skylight gingerly so as not to make much noise. It creaked slightly as she opened it, but managed to squeeze her slender frame in. The rustle of cloth going against it. The rain pouring down onto the roof muffled the sound of her climbing in. Once she was inside the building, the lights cast shadows, and I was like describing everything. And it was just a complete change from the initial start, which was very much this, end sentence. This, end sentence. So I started rewriting the start of it, and then yeah, it was foolish of me. I thought I'd backed it up onto a floppy disk. You know, remember those kids? And yeah, I hadn't. And it was 246 pages, and I've never. It's one of those things I'm like, I should really start rewriting it again, and I could never bring myself to do it, just because my brain goes, how much did you lose? No, yes, it's hard drive. Hard drive murder is wrong. There should be a crime against just wiping hard drives. Oops, I'm on the wrong tool. That's why I can't do anything. It's decent like that. Sorry, I just heard a noise from outside. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't actually any rain. But it wasn't. That's fine. It was probably the pigeons fighting in the tree again. But yeah, it's such a soul drain to lose so much. And anyone who can sort of pull themselves up from that, they're a stronger person than I am. But I've been meaning to sit down and write the story which I have Loyu from. But the problem is every time I sort of think to do it, I'm like, actually, I found a better way of starting it. Because that's my problem, is starting. Greetings, Carol. Welcome to the stream. Rain, yeah, it hasn't hit here yet, but I'll tell you something, it's grey outside, so I'm hoping. And don't throw yourself out the window, leave that for professionals like me. I am not a professional stuntman, but I am a professional idiot. Mostly because I'm in a profession, and I'm an idiot, therefore it counts. Right, let's see if I can get this flight deck somewhat straight. Nope, is the answer to that. Nope. Actually, no, the flight deck wasn't. It was curved at the front. I'm just going to give it the natural look. It's like, yes, and I'm back to this again. You remember I climbed up my window at uni, right? Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. Oh, my giddy aunt. That was a poor line there. Poor line. Whoa, that's even worse. Zoom back out again. Zoom out. Zoom out. Too close. Nope. Again, digital art is brilliant for stuff like this because you can say, nope, that's not right. It's trying to figure out the best position for my arm to naturally do the line. Oop, that was close, but no cigar. That one I think is better. I'm going to stick with that one. I am on the right, yes. That sudden thought, like, am I on the right layer here? Why have I got 3 layers? What's on the second layer? Okay, I've somehow added that onto a layer I didn't need to, so... layer... The only thing I'm noticing that's a bit of a pain is, I'm so used to being able to obviously just see the cursor drop the thing down. Now I've got my hand actually hiding what I'm trying to do. Floppy disks. Floppy disks were not that common when I was in primary school. Well, I mean... I still remember my primary school getting a computer in, and it had the, what size, the 5? Was it the 5-inch that they called it? The huge honking great big one. And we had programs on those, and I still remember them. But yeah, used to... Floppy disks were one of those things where, yes, they were going out of fashion, but for my story, it was easy to put it on a floppy disk because it fit. And it just wasn't worth the waste of a CD, even if it was a rewritable CD. There was no point in wasting the time to put it on one when you could just chuck it on a floppy. Let's just drop that down a bit more because I want to. Ooh, wow, that is thin. So give me that. Nope, that's too thick. That's better. Still gotta get used to the pressure. No, these aren't crucifixes. I think they were radio masts. If anyone starts going, why are you throwing bloody crucifixes on a Japanese ship? I just know it looks a bit weird in silhouette, but that's part of the reason why I was doing this. I wanted it to be somewhat recognisable as the actual ship. Actually, no, it wouldn't be that. It would be... you just have the full bit, because the flight deck would be... It's just that in the image I needed something on this side, and then I realised Grimm was actually sort of looking over here. Oops, that was a bit too aggressive on that. So I wanted something for Grimm to be almost looking at, if you will, and a silhouette of a ship seemed to fit, so I just put a cargable. There, I was reading rewritable at the time I said a carg. Oh god. Yeah, don't mind me, you know. I swear I've actually got brain damage. Right. And yes, some of you may recognise the badge that is actually on their hat, and we'll go, hang on a second, that's not from Akagi Squared, in fact that's not even from Azure Lane. Correct. I had no idea what the badge would normally be, so I went for something that would fit the badge, and I figured having a Great Become Memorial patch would be a nice nod. You can't go wrong with a bit of Great Become. lived a life most of us could only dream of. I like wearing it at conventions, actually, because I get some people asking what the whole thing is with this grape gum patch, and it's always fun to explain the story of, which, if you don't know, the basics is there's an anime called Kimono Friends, and they have basically it's animals are represented by basically human personifications of, and one of them was a Humboldt penguin, if I'm right in thinking, for grape gum. And what they did was at the local zoos, they put little cutouts of the anime character in with a particular animal, so like all the weebs could turn up and go, oh right, that's what that is. And they put one of these cutouts in this Humboldt penguin enclosure, and this penguin with this purple armband known as grape gun, basically fell in love with the cutout. Is the best way of putting it. Almost infatuated with it, and yeah, it just sort of blew up into this like internet sensation because he would sort of stand there staring longingly at this cutout, and then they took the cutout away, and he almost like got depressed, and they put it back in, and then bless, he passed away. But yeah, it's one of those things for like the full story. It's worth having a quick Google of grape gun. If you did like grape gun and Kimono Friends, you'd probably get enough search results to get the full story on it. Wait, that's not right. I've drawn that wrong there. Why am I struggling with this? I've got the patch literally right in front of me. It doesn't actually have that on the back. So let's just that goes there. That drops more or less straight down. Oh god, that's an awful line. Where's the edge there? But yeah, it was interesting at one point because they actually got the VA for Hululu, who's the Humboldt penguin, to turn up to the enclosure. And like everyone's sort of like, my god, he's finally living the life. He's actually got, his wife who's there in both like 2D and 3D form. Yeah, wasn't it something like his current partner had left, or went for another penguin or something daft like that, and then obviously Grapecon found his new love. 1996 is the date I should be having on there, so 1996. But I figured it'd be a nice little Easter egg to hide in the image. Oh yeah, you already mentioned it, Saber. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, his mate had actually gone and left, but then he found perfection. So, oh wait, I need to put it back up to 8. If I'm drawing at this distance. Nope, go back to that. Yep. Alright. Just wait for me to get a file to uni, just burn it to a disk, and they come in spindles of 50 at the same time, wasting one of a single text file. Yeah, who cares? Yeah, I was more I just wanted to make the most out of each CD. Although I do have several CDs which have got like a picture folder on it, which is not that big. And then I stumbled across a lot of CDs the other day. I'm like, what's on this? I'm like, oh, is that all? Oh god. My hand's not in a comfortable position to draw that. Let's try. Oh, jeez, no. Whoop. Close enough for government work. Just had that horrid thought, have I gone onto the wrong layer again? The digital artist's worst nightmare. Inadvertently drawing on the wrong layer and not noticing. Oh god, that was awful. Let's try that one again, shall we? There we go. Oh. No. She's got more of a cartoony, curved chin I'm trying to emulate. Oh. Whoops. That went too far zooming out. Give me 100%. That's actually too close. Too much zoom. Ooh, hey. So the one thing I have sort of noticed in the difference between this and paper is it's obviously because it's a tablet interface, it's very glidey. I've just got to get used to that. And some of the lines aren't matching up because my hand's gliding across the screen, but it's overall not too bad. So I'm slowly getting used to it. I just need to sort out that display adapter so I can actually have my main monitor up as well. Rather than being like, I have no monitor at the moment, apart from a tiny little one which I'm using to look at chat. Can't remember the last time I mucked around with CDs. Well, the last time I mucked around with CDs, I lined them up in a garden and shot at them. Airsoft before anyone complains. Oh, it just takes me back. Well, it's quite a few years because it was when I was back up north, and one of my friends, we mentioned about doing like some shooting of airsoft discs, some CDs with airsoft. So we just went down to the local supermarket and just picked up a box of AOL discs. Remember AOL, kids? But yeah, it wasn't just like one or two discs. It just literally just walked in and picked up the entire box. I'm like, I'm not sure they're supposed to just let you walk out with the box. He's like, well, no one stopped me. If they're not going to stop you, then go ahead. Knock yourself out, chum. Very, very messy to shoot CDs. I would not recommend them as targets. Because you might get biodegradable BBs, but you don't get biodegradable CDs. I still do cassette mixtapes. Oh, wow, awesome. Do you have a pencil handy to reel the magnetic tape back in? Keeping an eye out for a vinyl lathe. Ooh. Yeah, I remember as a kid. It's going to sound really awful, but yeah, before like PCs were a common thing, I remember sitting for hours on end in front of the record player because we only had a short headphone jack, and I'd just sit there and I'd have to have. Usually my mum would come along and set up the thing because I could never figure out the numbers. So for obviously the different size of vinyl records. But yeah, she'd sort of set it up, and I'd just sit there and just love listening to all the records we had. I really should try and track down some of them. Some of the songs I used to listen to. I wanted wanted to get into airsoft, but then human malware. Yeah, I mean, some sites are opening back up again, and it is always worth having a look into it. A lot of sites will do rentals, so if you're ooming and ahhing about, chucking the capital in to getting yourself a replica, worth getting a rental. If you're like me and you're a bit of a collector as well, then you'd be like, it's alright, I'll just, buy them to collect, not necessarily use. You can get, if you wanted to dive straight in, there's no harm in doing so, but you will be restricted to the two-tone class. But saying from experience, there's nothing wrong with two-tone. Never let anyone in the airsoft community say otherwise, because if they are just a colossal douche. I have two-tone pistols here because of choice. I have some fantastic two-tone colours. I like to think that I'm fairly normal in liking pink as a man. Some people think it's wrong, but I'm like, no, it's perfectly fine. And I have a couple of pistols which are bright pink and black as colours. Because the other hilarity is you come across those like, ooh, pink's a girl's colour, and you go out into the field and you shoot them and it's like, what is two-tone? Right, so with airsoft you have to, unless you are a registered member of a site to get a UCARA exemption, you have to have a weapon that is 50% or more brightly coloured. So the common ones you usually see are blue, yellow, green, red. Some places do pink, depending on which shop. But it's essentially 50% or more has to be brightly coloured. And there are, as I said, there's not many of them, thankfully, but there are those out there that look down on people who get two-tone because it's not authentic. It's not right to have two-tone. I'm like, bollocks to it. If you like two-tone, go for it. I remember years ago I went to a woodland site and there was a guy running around with a Hello Kitty M16 whilst wearing a bright pink set of overalls. And he could, outrange and shoot people far better than some of the others out there could. That doesn't look right. Let's ditch that second. Let's get that done. And he was basically doing it as a thing for those that, the professional players who wanted to stick with weapons that were just all black. And he was just doing it for fun. And that's how I play airsoft. Is to me, it's fun. I'm not a serious airsofter, as evidenced by the fact I don't upgrade my guns. Oh, crap, it's that time already. Right, yep, no worries. I will finish up here and I will hop over to the Discord. So I've just got to do Yorktown. I shall finish her up later on. In fact, let's hop out and click that. Oh, I haven't drawn NT's mouth. Let's quickly do that one before I end up. So, I would say then, it's a bit of a success. So, with the minor technical hiccups and the aggravation that all this setup caused at the start, it's paid off, I would say. This has been so much easier to draw. And it's been a breeze to do all this, and also just explaining stuff and like, quickly sketch a different picture and just going off and sketching it has been so much easier using it and staring at the screen rather than having the disconnect. Hopefully this will be more digital art coming in the future. I said it's probably not going to be next week, but hopefully in the future I'll be able to do a bit more digital because this tablet has been fantastic. We'll have to arrange to go if you don't mind a straight on. I'll turn up with anyone. And the best thing is usually if I go with people that I know, I'm happy enough to say, right, well, you know, you can borrow one of mine on a whole, you break it, you buy it kind of thing. Most people tend to be fine with that, but yeah, I usually go with more than enough gear to sort other people out. Yes, so I will end up the stream here. As I said, I'm going to hop off and go help Carone. So yes, I'll be over on his stream shortly. As I said, it's Resident Evil 4. Yeah, it is 4. Again, it's there for support as such like that. Again, you may not find the Resident Evil series scary, but again, it's different strokes for different folks, and I'm just there to provide that little bit of help. Otherwise, he may end up just sat inside a safe room for the entirety of the stream. So I'm just there to provide that nudge to get moving. I remember I was going to borrow some. Yes. When I next get, we're looking to get the practical pistol started up again down here at some point. I'm having words with the site organizer, just getting the time to do so. But yeah, with things lifting, that is becoming a stage we'll be able to do that again. So yes, sorry, my brain just switched off for a second, and it does that from time to time. It's really irritating. I'll be halfway through discussing something, my brain just goes boop and stops, and then I have to mentally remind myself to carry on. So yeah, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you here, Near. Thank you for popping along and the follow. As I said, I hope it's give you that little bit of a incentive to draw. Maybe not. Maybe you just think, nah, I'm starting to do it. Either or, whichever. As long as you know you're happy with what you can do. I thank you for popping along. As I said, at least it's been somewhat informative and entertaining. My next stream should hopefully be tomorrow. We'll be doing some more co-op gaming. Hopefully, we might try Pummel Party because the weather might be a bit cooler for it, and my PC might not just melt. We'll see what happens, but I do intend to try and do that. That's 9 PM GMT. You never know. We might just turn around and do Payday or whatever else. We'll find something. We'll find something. There'll be something along. If I can't get anyone to play any games, then I'll probably boot a replicant. Haha. Right, so I shall call it there. So thank you very much again to everyone who has turned up. Whoever you are, wherever you are, and whenever you are, I do hope you have enjoyed yourself, and I look forward to catching you on the next stream. In the meantime, I'm going to go off and join Chiron, so if you do want to head over to his channel, as I said, he'll be starting up shortly. I don't know if it'll let me raid straight away. Hang on, let's try that. It's that screen I need this on. Raid. Because I might as well get that going. The only thing I'm missing with not having not having my main monitor is that I can't actually load up Twitch on it to see what's actually happening. Oh, looks like it's working. Right, I shall leave it there then. What I'll do, Saber, as well afterwards is I'll chuck you a link to my Discord. You can always pass it on to Near, and then by all means, we can always chat a bit more on there. And as I said, Near, if you want to chuck your OC over either to me or Saber, you know, I can always give it a draw. Right, I'll get the raid going. Again, thank you all for watching. We'll catch you later. Toodles!